So this is wonderful. Initially, I thought this question would have just fit for the talent source and recruiter, but knowing that both of you have been in positions, Sherman and Cortez, y'all have also been in positions where y'all either influence or directly were like saying the yes to hiring or bringing this person on. Feel free to answer this as well. Salary negotiations. What are some suggestions for someone who is going through the interview process with a company, especially a person, maybe it's their first time, they haven't been working in this space yet, and they're intimidated or worried or fearful about salary negotiations? What are some tips that y'all have for that?
Can I start?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, good. I'm gonna kick off my shoes because I done got comfortable. Okay, y'all, listen. I actually met with someone this week in just a kind of a salary negotiation conversation, so this is perfect. And she said to me, I don't care what the number is, I just want to get out of my current job. And I said, you are setting yourself up for the okie doke. I said, I don't care how bad a job is. If you keep saying that, you're going to keep accepting lower and lower and lower and lower than what you deserve. So anyone who's intimidated, whenever you're going into an interview, anyone who's intimidated by asking for a certain number, I would then ask you, do you know your worth? Because if you don't, then that is going to allow you to be intimidated by whether it's the company, whether it's the person who is making you the offer, whatever. So I always tell people, have a number in mind. You then ask for the pay band. Ask the person making you the offer, can we have a transparent conversation and what the pay structure of this particular role that I'm interviewing for is. If they can offer that information, they'll tell you. If they can't offer that information, they'll tell you. Either way, you don't want to feel like you're lowballing yourself, but you also want to make sure you're having a very honest conversation with the person making you the offer, because you don't want to feel like I'm not making the money that I should. So you also then have to consider, and black folk, we're not taught this, so I didn't learn this until I got into tech 1 year ago. So we're not taught that there is a difference between base salary and total comp.
Yeah.
I didn't know that until I got into big tech. So you always want to make sure you have a base salary number. And if the person making you the offer asks you, is that your base salary or is that your total comp? If the number is considered low, always say that is your base salary. Because you have to remember, you have to factor in your sign-on bonus and your stock, which is made up of your total comp. Benefits are not included in your total comp. So always have that information and that knowledge, so when you then go into your salary negotiation conversation, you won't be intimidated. Last thing I'll leave you with, and I'll let my other panelists go. If you made it to the salary negotiation part, that means they want you for the job. That means you are qualified and good enough for that job. So it is not only did you show up in your interviews, now it's time for you to show up to tell them the money you want to make.
Yeah.
If you decide to accept a certain amount that you know you don't want, you can't then go back once you started and say, can we renegotiate my salary? Because you have accepted something that they've offered. So you have to make sure that if you accept a salary, you know you're accepting a number, and you have to be okay with that.
That's good. That's good.
Solid.
In addition to that, I think it's best to ask more questions than what you're giving information. It's perfectly fine to ask a sourcer or a recruiter, and really a sourcer at the top of funnel before you get past that business phone screen with the hiring manager. Based upon my years of experience, give them that quantitative number. Based upon me living within this market, what is the range for the base? In addition to that, what is the target bonus? Is that eligible to be paid out at 200%? In addition to that, what is the equity range? Is there an equity refresh? There is nothing wrong with asking questions, because the more questions you ask them about your worth, it's going to tell you how they value where you are at this point in your career. And then you don't have to stick to this one conversation with this one company. Normally when we're interviewing, it's for several different companies at one time. You can utilize those numbers to negotiate in whichever direction you decide to go.